Economic diversification has been one of Saudi Arabia's strategic pillars since the 1980s. While most people still consider the country to be heavily reliant on oil, in 2011 that sector accounted for only 28% of GDP. Here to discuss the current business environment in the kingdom and the Gulf at large is Abdulkareem Abu Al Nasr, CEO of National Commercial Bank. Abdulkareem, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here.
Saudi Arabia has enjoyed relative stability and growth this year. Tell us about NCB's performance in the last 2 years.
Well, as you said, Saudi Arabia has enjoyed a period of very strong performance and economic stability. And on the backdrop of that, NCB also has enjoyed a very good performance in the last 2 years. 2011 was a very strong year for us. We have seen net income grow by 27% over 2010. 2012 is firming up to be a very strong year for us as well. We saw net income grow by almost 12.7% in the first 9 months. And we have seen growth across all of our product lines and our business segments. So overall, I would say it's been a very good 2 years for us as well.
What areas then in particular are the most profitable?
We've seen growth in consumer finance on the back of a very strong demographics story. We also have seen very strong growth in residential finance, which is a very important developmental agenda for the government and also for the banking sector there, where they seek to help individual customers own their homes and finance them. We also have seen very strong performance in the capital markets, especially in the first quarter of the year. And finally, we have seen very strong growth in corporate lending, where the overall growth in loans year on year for the banking sector recorded more than 16%, which is a very robust year.
Give us a sense of the business environment in the Gulf. What challenges are you facing?
I think the Gulf business challenge is all about growth these days. How do you manage growth? We have seen very strong economic activities across most of the GCC countries, especially in Saudi Arabia, where the government has been actively executing its fiscal expansion plan to benefit from the high oil prices and the high relative income to the kingdom, to modernize its infrastructure, to provide the infrastructure in place to allow the business community and to allow the economy to grow. And I think that has been the backdrop that we've seen, which has supported the corporate business, but as well as the individuals, where there's been a lot of stimulus plans to try to provide housing, employment opportunities for the nationals in the GCC.
What is NCB's market share of the banking sector, and what role have you played in Saudi growth?
Today we represent almost a 20% market share of the assets of the banking sector in Saudi Arabia, 19% of the profits of the banking sector. And over the last 60 years, NCB has been part and parcel of the evolution and the history of the kingdom. We've been founded as a commercial bank, very strong roots in retail, but over the years we have emerged to become a very strong corporate bank as well. And we have played a major role in founding businesses in the early days, where the bank took an active role in founding, for example, the cement company and some of the other electric company, for example. And then later moved into the role of financing the economy through financing the private sector, as well as the government in expanding and modernizing the infrastructure.
You've spoken before about the importance of sustainability. What kind of initiatives do you have in place?
Well, NCB has embraced sustainability back in 2006. We started to think, how can we define success in a language that engages our stakeholders, being our customers, our shareholders, our employees, our community, our environment, and our suppliers. And I think in looking at how we engage with all these stakeholders and developing plans to improve our effectiveness and our transparency with them, The bank has been, I think, very successful in developing solutions to some of the issues that relates to how do we look out of the environment, raising the awareness on the consumption of energy, and also on many initiatives that deal with the community and providing community programs and services and solutions to areas like employment, for example, has been very important in this agenda.
Abdulkareem Abu Al Nasr, thank you.
Thank you very much.